Hey everyone, welcome back again. Another Sunday here. Have you ever noticed that as you get old, the weeks just seem to go by so fast you can't keep track of them? You don't seem to get anything done. I don't know, I seem to run out of time. Well, actually I run out of energy before I run out of time, but that's a whole other story. But anyhow guys, thanks a bunch for putting up with all my crap here and following along on this build. I'm up to just over 280 subscribers, which is way more than I ever thought I'd get. So, but I really appreciate you guys. So I'll just show you where we are, what we've got done here. I have been able to get a bunch of stuff off of the list. Let's bring you in here. Fuel tank return fitting is in. Fuel pump and filter are mounted. Fuel return line. I've got the fuel line scratched off, but I should have actually put it back on because I screwed that all up. I need some AN fittings, and you go to your local auto parts store that deals with farm stuff and ask for AN fittings, and they look at you like, what? So waiting for those, they're coming. I still haven't got my AC compressor, so none of this stuff can be done until then. I've got the drive shaft is installed. And next thing on the list is going to be this C100 harness. So for any of you guys that have followed along from the start on this build, when I originally started building it 5 years ago, in April it'll be 5 years, I had looked at doing a Gen 3 Hemi swap, and there was just no support for it at that time. You couldn't unlock the computers or anything else, so I decided against that and went with the 440. So needless to say, I never had a contingency plan for doing it in the future. So electric fuel pump with return line was just a nightmare. I can show you, I have absolutely no room under the back end of this. Every almost half inch of real estate is taken up. So my fuel tank, as you can see, I'll just see if I can get you down here. My pan hard bar, tailpipes, differential, pan hard bar mount. I even had to notch the fuel tank for clearance on the bolt that goes through there. I used to have an electric fuel pump way up in there, which didn't work out, so I ended up using a mechanical fuel pump. But now to plumb this, I had to remove the tank, and I don't know if I can even show you. It's so tight. That's why I didn't film any of this, but up in there you can see there's a fuel line going straight towards the back. Well, that's the return line that I put into the tank. The only way I was able to do that, I JB welded a piece of 1/8 aluminum, about 2 by 2 or a little bigger, to the side of the tank, and then I tapped it to 1/8 NPT and put a 5/16 hose barb in it. It's for my return line. My fuel pump, originally I wanted to mount right here on the front side of the tank. That was not possible. There's just not enough room. And if you know, with these electric fuel pumps, they have to be gravity fed. They can't be much higher than the tank or they won't work. So after a whole lot of cussing and screwing around, and I run a fuel line around here up to pre-filter. Then I have my high pressure pump and a GM style fuel filter pressure regulator. Ran all the wiring up to it. I still have to figure out the trigger wire in my rear compartment, and that'll get triggered from the computer. Drive shaft's installed. We got all of that stuff in place. I've got a little bit of a rattle on the fuel line I'm going to have to correct, and then we can go from there. So now I'm waiting for some AN fittings and a kit to run from here up to the fuel rail on the engine. So I'll just put you back in the stand, and then I can show you what we got done up top. Not a whole lot, but there is some. So I'm back. On the top side, I've got the heater hoses run. I still have one to do up. We've got return line, or sorry, that's the hot water going into the heater, and then the return line has the electronic shut-off on it. I just dry fitted this header to check for clearance on my alternator wiring and stuff there. Should be good. And that's about all I got done. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it took a long time and a whole lot of cussing. I think Randall from Shed by the Tracks and I both had a swear day yesterday. Mine was the day before as well. I banged my head probably 10 times under the car and dropped every part that I picked up. So yeah, it was interesting, but most of that fuel system is done. And next I'm going to start reworking the C100 harness, which is the plugins for main power feed and distribution on the computer. It takes care of the ASD automatic shutdown circuit, fuel pump trigger, and get that sorted out and plugged in. And then when my AC compressor gets here, they say Tuesday, I'll believe it when I see it. This thing will be pretty much ready for a fire up after I pressure test and install all the AC lines. So anyhow guys, thanks for tuning in. That's what I got for an update for today. And I'll just keep plugging away because I don't think you want to watch me solder wires together. So anyhow guys, take care. Hit that subscribe button.